Just Robbie being out here saying, "Hey, RJ, come out and give him a drive and try it and tell me what you think." Um, then he had to deal with Jegs and he needed a driver. So I did two races. I did the LA, no, I did three. I did Long Beach, which I was leading, spun out, and I think I got fourth. Then the LA Coliseum, I didn't get to practice and over jumped first lap on the big gap jump and landed hard, bit my tongue, and went into the stands, broke the truck. San Diego, I got second. I got a flat tire the last couple laps, and then ended up second place. So just knowing Robbie.
Ah, what is driving one of those trucks like?
It's uh it's it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's something that you're coming to these jumps and you see them coming at you, and you're like, holy shit, what is going to happen? And the trucks are so incredibly tough. I mean, when we hit those jumps, when they put them down the straightaway, when you hit them fast, I mean, it damn near knocks you out on the takeoff, and then it damn near knocks you out on the landing. I mean, it's a violent world inside of there. Yeah, it's got a lot of suspension, the tires do their job and stuff like that, but it beats the crap out of you when you hit those jumps, especially when you land sideways and your head wants to get ripped out one side or the other, but when you're trying to drive them and you're learning how to, how they crawl up on three wheels, and you're coming around the corner, and how much is too much and how much is not enough. And so the guys that Brabham and Robbie and Max and Stout, these guys know that edge. And so when at Nashville, when I was there, I was just getting in the truck and just getting to know it. And be honest with you, I was in their way. I wasn't competitive. They were going to whip my ass. I was just trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. So, yeah, have you seen how I've noticed how in Nashville, how Robbie at one point drove his car over the side of the jump, and I just remember thinking that was cool and ballsy.
Wow, he drives those things. He wears them like your tennis shoes, so he can drop it up on two wheels, and he practices that at his shop. He's rolled them a bunch of times learning that game, but he knows it very well. He's constantly entertaining the fans. And the thing about it is, someone made a joke about it, but it's a true fact, is that, when people watch road racing and stuff like that, the only time they get out of their seat is when there's a crash or something like that. Well, they're watching the guys in those things crash every lap, because every time they hit a jump, one's this way, one's this way, one's this way, and they're just driving the crap out of them. So everyone's waiting for the crash, but they just keep racing, and then they're bumping into each other, and they're tough, and so there's contact. I'm going to say it's the UFC of racing. There are some rules, and there are some stuff, but generally you race as hard as you can.
That makes sense. I remember watching when Robert Stout won the second Nashville race, I
Mm-hmm.
believe in 2021. And
Yeah.
I was happy for him, hearing from the trackside announcer that it was his first win, in that series. And I remember the trucks came in front of me on the front stretch when I was in the grandstands, and I saw 5 drivers do burnouts at once. I was excited, but I remember thinking, wait, which of those trucks won the race? Because
Well,
I just with 5 guys doing burnouts, you're just wondering which one won.
and also you need to know that Ken Stout, the announcer, is his father.
Oh yeah, I think he told me when I spoke to him a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked together with Ken when we announced the core races back before I got back into racing again. So I did color commentary, and he was the main announcer. So Robert is a phenomenal driver, and he's come up through a very different way than other people. He was a driving instructor out at different places. I think in Bondurant for a long time, and then he was out at a place called Thermal, which is out here in California, in Palm Springs, and he's just been a driving instructor. But when I watched him drive those trucks, and then he spun me out, but as I said, I was in his way, so I gave him a hard time that he crashed me, but I overbroke, and he came into me, and he just got me on the back so smooth it spun me around. I gave his dad a hard time, called him up and yelled at him, said your son dumped me, and anyways, we had fun with it. But back to Robert Stout, is he's an unbelievable shoe. He's an unbelievable spokesman, and I really wish he could get some bigger rides, because he definitely deserves it.
I agree with you on that. What was the reason that you stopped racing for a bit in the Stadium Super Truck Series, but then abruptly came back for Nashville? What was that about?
So, um, I just did a couple races, and I was just busy doing other stuff, so I was just time to move on. And then Robbie had people paying for the rides, and I wasn't going to pay for a ride. And so then Bo Lemastus, who sponsored Jeff Ward, myself, and him, and somebody else, the guy who took me out, called me. I've known him for a long time. We were friends back when I was racing motocross, and he was a young guy going to races and stuff. And he's done really well with his business. And so he said, "Hey, I want to put you in a truck." And so I said, "Okay." So he did a big thing at Nashville, because he has the jukebox company. And so put me in for that race. I went there cold turkey. I was right after I had my wrist fused. And actually, no, it wasn't my wrist fused. I had some surgery done. So got in the truck and went out and had a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So where'd you finish again in Nashville, if you can remember?
Terrible. The first day, my truck broke. Second day, I got taken out in the fourth turn. So Bo Lemastus, the sponsor me, he came shooting down the inside. I got passed I started up front. I got passed for the lead. I turned in, and Bo came in and just hit me right in the back wheel, and poof, and set me up on the tire wall.
Did you speak to him afterwards, or?
We had some words. I was a little pissed off, because if he would have hit me in the door, there's a good chance it would have killed me. And then he was mad at me because I wasn't grateful for the sponsorship, which I was. I was very upset that when somebody hits you that hard. I mean, if I wouldn't have been there and he hit the wall straight on, it could have killed him. I mean, he hit me probably going 75 miles an hour. He wasn't slowed down at all. The brakes were smoking, and he nailed me. So we had some words afterward. Then we got into a piss ass text message back and forth of, basically a screw you back and forth with a group of all the different guys, which was out of line. We shouldn't have done that. And we haven't talked much since. So I wish no ill will towards him. It happened. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah. What commercials have you been in as a stunt driver, or movies and all that?
So I started out with the first one I did was a Chevy Thunder commercial, where I was driving the stadium truck and I jumped it way down to Sand Dune. Then I did some Miller Beer commercials when I was down at Penske South. I did 2 of those. I did a whole bunch of Coors. I did Coors. I did Coca-Cola. I did a couple battery commercials. Recently, I just did the Ram TRX commercial, where it has the Ram truck going around the sand dunes and stuff, and sliding and doing all the stuff. So I drove at that. I did Honda commercial, drove a bunch of different vehicles in that. So I'm always just the professional driver on a closed course. Don't do this.
Okay, I got it. What's your biggest race you've won?